you. Jerry Palm has his latest top 4 seeds out: Auburn, Baylor, there's Gonzaga, and now Wisconsin, who made the move from a 2 seed earlier this week. They represent his number 1 seed right now. Time now for a little bracketology with senior writer Jerry Palm. Gonzaga pulls away from San Francisco thanks to that Holmgren-Timme combination. We've seen some movement in your top 4 this week, but does it look like Gonzaga are going to be some long haulers there in your top 4?
Well, yeah, they probably are, because they're the best team in the West Coast Conference by quite a bit. But they do have challengers this year. I mean, teams that are probably going to be NCAA tournament teams. They have a chance to resume build in their league this year, which is, not really typical for them. But for this year, they've got 3 other teams that may make the NCAA tournament and where Gonzaga can pick up wins of some quality.
Now, we saw number 3 Arizona last night demolish Stanford. Now, let's compare these two. Compared to a 2-loss Gonzaga, they've just got 1 L on their resume. So why not a number 1 seed next to the Wildcats named in the rankings?
It has to do with strength of, in particular, non-conference schedule, because we aren't deep enough into these leagues yet for the conference schedules to take over. For Arizona, they played 3 what they thought were going to be good teams, Illinois and Tennessee on the road, split those 2 games. And then Michigan, but Michigan's ended up being disappointing, so it doesn't really help them. Because Gonzaga went out and played 5 good non-conference opponents. They lost 2 of them, but that their strength of schedule at this point is better, and that's why they're ahead of Arizona in the bracket. And that may persist because the Pac-12, you've got 3 teams at the top that everybody says is pretty good. Although, frankly, I think we're just taking UCLA and USC's word for it at this point. But when you get past those 3. There's not a lot of teams left on the schedule to resume build against. Maybe Oregon after the week they had last week, but Gonzaga may actually have just as good a chance to resume build in the West Coast Conference as Arizona does in the Pac-12.
Worth noting Gonzaga's 2 losses, of course, against ranked teams as well. All right, now we've got a big game on CBS this weekend in the SEC, Auburn, Kentucky, top 15 showdown. Is this a gotta-have-it game for Kentucky?
It's probably more important for Kentucky because, Auburn's in really good shape with just the 1 loss on the season. But these are a pair of teams that really didn't overly impress in non-conference play. But that's particularly true for Kentucky. Their best non-conference win is Ohio. So, it's a team that really needs to build in the league. Now, the SEC gives you chances to do that. And obviously, this is a big opportunity for Kentucky to take down a team that a lot of people think is number 1 right now.
We heard Tommy mention in the highlights Purdue, likely a tournament team, but Indiana topped them. What's the impact of this loss, though, for the Boilermakers?
Well, actually, Purdue's in a weird spot because the last bracket I did was Monday. And since then, yet they lost to IU. But before that, they won at Illinois. So Purdue's actually not changing in the bracket. They're still going to be a 3 seed. But it's a huge game for Indiana because Indiana's schedule and their resume right now is loaded with home wins. They have not been good away from home. And eventually they're going to need to fix that. But, they've got to win now at home against Ohio State and a win at home against Purdue. So that's probably going to be good enough to put them in the bracket for now. But if all they are is a home court hero at the end of the year, that may not be enough to keep them in the bracket.
All right, it feels like March is just around the corner. Jerry Palm, thank you so much. Hey, CBS has a college hoops doubleheader on deck.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.